I just want to repeat now the three underlying issues here, which I hope I've gotten across, but which I think are worth emphasizing. The first is, it's really simple, but the sheer presence of Ukraine in these larger histories. The things that I've just talked about, the war between Russia and Ukraine, the Second World War and Nazi Germany and Nazi crimes, the Bolshevik Revolution, the foundation of the Soviet Union, these are all very, very large-scale historical events for any understanding of the modern world, including one of totalitarianism, which is our goal. In all of these, Ukraine is very present, right? That's the very simple point. Ukraine is present. But in all of these, if you're not careful, Ukraine might not seem to be present. It takes a little bit of effort sometimes to find Ukraine because the very reasons which are given the big world story, which is attractive, even if you dispute it, right? Even if you engage with it in a hostile way, the big world story is all about making Ukraine invisible, explaining why Ukraine shouldn't have been in there in the first place, explaining why even if though there might seem to be Ukraine or Ukrainian people or Ukrainian individuals, they're not really there or they're something else. And so the first thing I want to get clear is that Ukraine is present in these historical events. And the second is that Ukraine very often can seem to be absent because the big stories that are told around these various projects are all about making Ukraine seem smaller or less important than it actually is. And the third thing that I wanted to get across, and this is just a very simple thing, is the crucial difference between object and subject, which is implicit in what I just said. The way that many big stories work is that they allow the person who's telling the story to be the only subject. So the person who's telling the story is the only one who has any agency, any power, any discretion over what matters and what doesn't matter. Everyone else becomes objects in the story, like rocks in the field. And a story which is like that is not history. It may be powerful. It may work in politics, it may be very persuasive, it may even fill up history books, but it's not history in the normal sense of history. History contains those stories, and it has to contain those stories because those stories are part of what makes the world move. Stories about the past, or in the case of Lenin and the Soviet Union, stories which are about the past and how it leads to the future. These big stories are factors in history. They are things that matter in history, just like the flow of a river matters. They matter, but they're not the same thing as history. In history, in actual history, there would be many, many different focal points, as many as possible, many, many different subjects, and not just the subject of the person who is able to tell the story, whether that's Putin or whether that's Hitler or whether that's Lenin or Stalin.